Hello, everybody. Today we have Mr. Mahesh Palashikar amongst us. He is President South Asia, General Electric. Hello, Mr. Palashikar, and welcome to BW Business World.
Hi, Urvi. Good to see you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much for taking out time to join us this morning. So I believe you are in good health now and work from office is in full swing.
That is correct. I think almost life is back to normal.
Yeah, that's a good thing and also a bad thing because normalcy gets a little redundant after a while. But I think we're all more than happy to lead a normal life after the pandemic that we have witnessed. So, with that, we realize that sustainability and ESG and all of these topics have assumed center stage. Of course, it was always there as a part of the discussion, but name applies is to a large extent involved in energy and renewables and power and all of those burning issues that we have at hand. So, let's start off with the first question related to energy itself. So, can you talk about General Electric's energy transition in India? What is in line? What are the products, or should I say, achievements that have been accomplished in the last, say, 4 or 5 years?
Sure. I think sustainability is a very significant global priority, Urvi. It also applies for our nation here. We have a rich legacy of 130 years globally. We have been at the cutting edge of developing solutions, developing technology, products, offerings across the entire energy basket. So it means different forms of power generation, gas power, steam power, hydropower, wind power, but also transmission distribution to transmit the generated electricity. So the offerings that we have really are a full suite of offerings. And when you look at energy transition, it is important to keep an eye on the renewable energy, of course. And we have significant national targets that everybody is counting on to make the transition. But it is also important that currently India generates close to 70% of the power from coal-fired power plants. And unless and until we improve the emissions from the coal-fired power plants, make them more efficient, the whole energy transition will not be smooth. So there are different aspects. We are very proud as GE in terms of the work that we do in India with very capable human capital and the talented teams that we have is innovate and manufacture in India for India and the world, which means we definitely help the nation here, but we also help the customer stakeholders in the nation as well as the global ecosystem. So very wide contribution, the way we like to say, rising to the challenge of building a world that works.
In addition to becoming a global key player, which GE has been for a while now, and as you said, you are expanding even more. How much are you contributing domestically, and more so, we are touting very heavily towards an Atmanirbhar Bharat. It has been a part of the government's agenda for over a year now. So, what is GE's contribution towards Atmanirbharta in the energy sector?
Yeah, it's a great question, and we have been here for 120 years. We are proud of General Electric serving India for the last 120 years. We started in India in 1902 with a hydroelectric power project in Karnataka, and that project still continues. But over the 120 years, across the entire business value chain in India, we have invested, we have built capabilities, we have very strong presence, right from the technology, designing, product development stage, up to the manufacturing, sourcing, supply chain ecosystem, but not stopping at that, also installing, commissioning, handing over the assets to the customers, and maintaining those assets for performance over a very long period of time. These assets have, especially in the energy space, have 30, 35 years of life cycle. So for the entire value chain, we have manufacturing capabilities, we have research, design, technology capabilities, we have field employees every day, may it be healthcare, may it be energy, may it be aviation, who are serving our customers at the location where they need it. So the capability of Atmanirbhar presence here is across all these domains. We have 14 manufacturing facilities. These are world-class manufacturing facilities, and a large percentage of the output that they make is also for exports. So as I mentioned, it is for serving the domestic customers and the regional customers in India and South Asia. But also, we are very proud, we are globally competitive when it comes to safety, quality, delivery, and cost. And that allows us to export a very large percentage to the global needs.
Export and energy export more so is quite in the news these days, because we know we have to achieve, we have to become a net exporter from a net importer. And energy and infrastructure, along with service sector and the like, are key pivots in this domain. So having said that, we have some other burning issues like decarbonization or carbon neutrality or sustainability or renewable energy. So when we talk about these spaces, it's very dynamic, it's very evolving. So what is General Electric's contribution? As you mentioned, it's a 123-year-old company. So how are you keeping up with the times, and how are you ensuring that the thought process doesn't get fossilized?
Yeah, this is a wonderful opportunity for nation, but also for a company like us who can add tremendous value in various areas. It could be the renewable energy generation, where we have cutting-edge world-class onshore wind technology. We specifically design onshore wind technology, products, services, and digital solutions for what nation needs here. We also have very powerful hydroelectric power solutions, which is again renewable, as you can relate to it. So think of onshore wind, think about the components that we design, think about the wind turbine blades that we design. They are very specifically customized for the Indian conditions. Think about the hydroelectric power plants, which really offer competitive and lower levelized cost of electricity. These are the areas where we help in terms of renewable energy generation. 50% of the power that today flows, Urvi, through the Indian transmission system is through GE technology. So the transmission and grid solutions that we offer, the digital monitoring, the digital performance improvements that we offer in transmission distribution is something which will be very valuable as the nation wants to reach 50% renewable energy generation by 2030. When it comes to the natural gas is an important bridge from yesterday's fossil fuel generation to tomorrow's renewable energy generation. Natural gas is a bridge which, when natural gas is available in India, it can really help increase the balance load capability. Last but not the least, we also have great capabilities for FGD technology, which is emission control technology for coal-fired power plants. The nation has several gigawatts of coal-fired power plants, and we are offering the technology to reduce emissions, to improve the performance of the coal-fired power plants. And the last point is hybrid technologies, meaning you can have wind, you can have solar, you can have hydro, sometimes you can have gas. And hybrid solutions is something that the government of India really is accelerating, and we are thankful for that, because then you could have 24 hours multiplied by 365 days hybrid power solutions for the consumers and industries.
I have two questions from your answer right now. Firstly, what are hybrid solutions? If you could elaborate for our viewers. And secondly, as you mentioned that GE is widespread across the Indian economy. So in addition to supplying the parts that you are, how are you making an impact on industries like healthcare and aviation?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And I'll explain you both the aviation business and healthcare business as well. So if you look at the aviation business, the sustainable fuel for aviation, lower emissions when the flights fly or the fighter crafts fly, is also a priority. And the world is doing a lot of flights. And there is a 2050 global target where we really want full sustainable aviation fuel, 100% to be used. So that is an area where we are partnering globally. We are also partnering regionally to help improve and reduce the emissions. Our latest engines, which go on the commercial flights, have 20 to 30% lower emissions than yesterday's engines. So I think that is a significant improvement, as well as in terms of the sustainability. When it comes to healthcare, one of the most important developments that has happened in the last 3 years of the pandemic is you don't need every time to physically travel. You may not have access to healthcare. So how do you make very precision healthcare solutions for patients, for hospitals, is an area that we are focused on. So it could be remote solutions, it could be digital solutions, it could be at-home solutions for intensive care. So a lot of these areas in terms of remote and digital solutions is how you can also make healthcare more accessible, more affordable for everybody who needs it. It can be a town, it can be a village, it can be a tier 2 or a tier 3 location in India. These are some advances where we are really able to help take the nation forward on the journey.
GE has and is doing commendable work across fields. I don't think people would be aware that you are making a mark in the healthcare and aviation space also. We usually associate General Electric with, say, power plants or heavy machinery. So this is quite a refreshing change for everybody to learn. And in addition to what GE has been doing, let's step back a little and take a bird's eye view of the entire economy and the country's journey towards sustainability. So, what are your views on India's transition to a net zero or net carbon zero country?
Yeah. Last 10 years have really shown tremendous acceleration in this area. I distinctly remember there used to be wind farms which used to come in various states. But once the MNRE installed the reverse auction mechanism, the volume and the capacity of wind farm addition has started increasing. And there is still improvement that we can do, but the trajectory has been very good. If you think of hydrogen policy that the MNRE has established, it's a very big step forward. And we also have capabilities as the gas power plants want to embrace more hydrogen and a higher percentage of hydrogen and lesser percentage of gas power. We are doing some very specific projects, Urvi, that I think our audience will be interested in. We have signed a MOU with NTPC, the largest power generation company in India, at their Kawas power plant in Gujarat, where there are 9E gas turbines of GE technology. And now there will be a pilot project which will use hydrogen to start with. And this will demonstrate what percentage of hydrogen can be used, what is the improvement in the emissions. So this is an example. The other example can be, as I mentioned about the wind farms, we continuously develop new technology at our Bangalore Development and Design Research Center, where you add more value to the stakeholders, you add more value to the customers. There are also very significant improvements that we have done in terms of the grid solutions that we offer. So if you think of sustainability, I mentioned you a few policies, round-the-clock policy of MNRE, the hydrogen policy of MNRE. Now there is an offshore document that has been released in the last 2 days. So this is a very widespread green energy open access. If somebody has a licensed load of 100 kilowatt and more, now they can easily go and apply for green energy open access. The minister just launched this couple of days back. So on the policy front, there is momentum. We have seen acceleration. The volumes are increasing towards renewable energy. And I also gave you some specific examples of what General Electric Company has been able to do in terms of supporting this acceleration.
Since we're talking about policies, all of them are backed by technology. Not just policy, but everything that GE or any other company is doing in this regard. So can you shed light on the new technological developments that are helping you achieve your ESG or sustainability goals?
Sure. There are several examples. Let me give you 2 or 3 ones which I think will be very interesting for our audience. First, as I mentioned to you, is the hybrid solutions. So we have capability of hybrid architecture, and we can customize based on what our customers need, based on what the states or the nation needs. We can customize hybrid architecture. It has controls and electronics and software solutions. It can take a mix of wind plus solar, or it can take a mix of wind and hydro. Sometimes it can take a mix of gas. And customizing these solutions to reduce the levelized cost of electricity is something our Indian talent in GE has been able to offer as a technology solution for our customers. The second that I would like to highlight is the pumped storage hydropower. Pumped storage hydropower is a very natural solution from the renewable sources that you store the water in a particular reservoir when you don't need it. You collect it when it is available, you store it. And when you need that energy during the peak demand for the industry and consumers, you can use that pumped water as a hydro storage capacity. So as compared to the battery storage, this is lower levelized cost of electricity, more environmental friendly, and the fuel, the source, water, is natural. These are some areas which I think are specifically helping as our customers look for the next transition. I gave you the example of the hydrogen mix. There will be more opportunities even for carbon capture. This is an area where we will need to start doing more work. These are exciting fronts where we are able to help our stakeholders and customers.
My final question for you before we wind up for the day is what are the future energy goals for General Electric? Do you intend on becoming carbon neutral soon, or do you intend on achieving 100% recycled water usage, or what is in store next?
Yeah, so we had some significant targets in terms of improving our carbon neutrality by 2020, and we achieved those ahead of time. By 2030, we will have the next step in terms of entire supply chain and the entire manufacturing operations to be carbon neutral. And then as we look couple of decades further after 2030, it will be a net zero target. So it is heartening also to see that while we make improvements and commitments in our company, but the nation also now has a 2070 commitment. And it helps us because we will be able to support the national targets, made with renewable energy 2030, made with the 2070 net zero. And these are the areas where we continuously keep upgrading the technology solutions, specifically aligned to the national interests.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Palashikar, for joining us today and contributing your thoughts towards India's journey in this capacity. And I would like to thank you for taking out time and joining us today. I know it's a weekday and you would have had a very busy schedule already pre-planned, but you decided to take out time and share your thoughts. Thank you so much and have a great day ahead.
Thank you. This is a wonderful opportunity, and we are happy that the audience is excited about the energy transition as much as we are excited. Thank you, Urvi.